Alright, so let's go over how to do product research on Amazon. Obviously, I created an entire course on doing product research on Amazon, so it's vastly complicated, but we are going to try to summarize it specifically for drop shipping in this video. We are going to talk about some products and categories that are restricted to sell on Amazon, which presents an opportunity for us to actually drop ship these items. And we are going to talk about the difference between FBA and FBM. So FBA basically means fulfilled by Amazon. This is how things are Prime eligible. It has to be in an Amazon FBA warehouse, and this is the way that Amazon's actually able to ship them within 2 to 3 days. If it's FBM, that basically means that it's fulfilled by merchant, which means that it's shipped by third-party sellers from those third-party sellers' own houses or warehouses or wherever they're shipping it from to Amazon customers, and Amazon just takes a fee of that transaction. So the difference and why it's important for us is that, if we're going to sell a product, we'd prefer that it be FBM, right? Because if it's FBA and, we're selling it, unless we're selling it for incredibly cheaper than Amazon, then for the most part, people would prefer to go to Amazon and buy the same product if it's around the same price, if they're going to be able to get it for that 2-day shipping. And that being said, not everyone uses Amazon, not everybody has a subscription to Prime membership, but for the most part, we just want to offer value in a unique way. It's kind of the beauty of drop shipping, and in order to do that, we need to have some additional layer of value over what's actually available via Prime shipping on Amazon FBA. So where we are right now, guys, and where we're going to start is in Amazon bestsellers. So I literally just Google searched Amazon bestsellers. I like to just tell you guys what I Google searched because the links change often, and I don't want to give a link that is dead and have people be confused. So I just Google searched Amazon bestsellers. And what we see on the left here, for those of you who don't know, is these are all of the different categories that Amazon has. And so all of these categories have, many subcategories. For example, like baby has all these different subcategories. And then, if we clicked into one of these, even these subcategories have all of these different subcategories, right? So it's an incredibly massive website. Obviously, it's one of the biggest companies in the world. We're going to start at the first tier here, where we have bestsellers, new releases, movers and shakers, most wished for, and gift ideas. So these are incredibly important tabs that I think people ignore too often. And so what we can see here, these are the best sellers in toys and games, right? Lego, Elmo, some of the Amazon Echoes with 59,000 reviews. Alexa voice remote streaming media player, 116,000 reviews. That's absolutely unbelievable. So, we'd never really hope to compete with some of these specific items. So we're going to narrow it down a little bit deeper. So let's take a look at this first tab here. We do see new releases. So video games obviously is not one that we're going to compete in. Books similarly, electronics potentially, but for the most part, these are also categories that we're not going to compete in. So let's take a look at a category that I have proven to be very successful, selling on Amazon, and we're going to look for a few things that we could potentially take off of Amazon and be able to add value from a drop shipping perspective. So this is Amazon hot new releases in home and kitchen. This is the first tier category, right? So a lot of these could potentially be have high reviews, which means that it would be difficult to compete. So when we're doing Amazon product research, right, we're doing a lot of thinking about reviews, because it's very hard to kind of get past that barrier to entry if the people that you're competing against have these huge incumbent leads from a review perspective. And so what I prefer to do instead is kind of go down maybe a little bit further into like an additional subcategory or two to see if we can find a potentially a viable option down further in these niches. So what we see here is gratitude glass jar, right? We see a moon lamp. This is obviously one that would be that would work well on Facebook advertising. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to run this Jungle Scout Chrome extension. And so for those of you who don't do Amazon FBA or haven't done it before, Jungle Scout is basically the product research tool. It shows you like the amount of revenue for these specific products and the relative amounts of reviews here. So obviously you'd want the revenue to be high and you'd want the reviews to be low, right? So we're going to sort by reviews here. We see some stuff that is literally like a give thanks burlap bunting Thanksgiving banner, right? It's doing $11,000, and this is per month, right? 30-day revenue estimate, and it has 0 reviews. So this obviously would be something that we would be interested in potentially looking at and being able to drop ship as well, right? Because these people are not spending advertising dollars for the most part on Facebook advertising, on Instagram, on the different advertising mediums. They're literally just relying on Amazon's internal systems from a PPC perspective, pay per click. They're using Amazon's, organic ranking methodology systems, which is a very complicated algorithm that ranks products based on their sales velocity to actually give them organic sales. So they're not going to be competing from a paid advertising perspective, which means that we might be able to capture some of that revenue after they've already kind of done the hard work, which is proving, validating a demand for a product. And so I'm going to actually extract a few pages here. And what I'm doing when I'm extracting pages here is, they only show like 20 products at a time. And so by extracting page, Jungle Scout basically, adds, it takes the second page and the third page of hot new trending products and puts them all kind of in a nice little palatable scenario that we can take a closer look at. So what I was talking about before, just to kind of showcase what I meant, is for example, it says seller FBA. So this means that this person, Polywit is the brand. They're buying these products from China, from Alibaba, from wherever they're buying them. They're shipping those products from China to the USA into an Amazon FBA fulfillment center. And we can tell because it says the seller is FBA. If we look at this next product, we see that it's FBM. So that means that these candles, for whatever reason, maybe they're not profitable to ship into an Amazon warehouse. Maybe these people don't know about Amazon FBA, whatever the case may be. So if we actually sort this by seller, then we can see, excuse me, who is FBA and who is FBM. So we do see Happy Thanksgiving Day pillow set, right? So these people are doing about $16,000 per month with very few reviews, right? And they are selling them FBM, so fulfilled by merchants. So this means that they're shipping them, from their own warehouse or wherever the case may be to their actual customers, which means that we could probably do the same, shipping them from AliExpress straight to our customers, right? And so if we actually click on this listing, it will give us a shipping estimate. So we get it's free shipping. It's not 2-day shipping. It's free shipping. It looks like they do have other designs, Merry Christmas, that they did ship into an Amazon FBA warehouse. But for these, right, since Thanksgiving is coming up, it is November right now, then they really are going to give us free shipping, but it doesn't say exactly how many days it takes. Okay, here we go. Arrives between November 27th and December 18th. So this could take, it's November 2nd right now, so it could take up to 6 weeks, right, which is incredibly long shipping when we're doing e-packet, which is, 2 weeks or so. So this is about a month longer potentially than what we could offer with these same products. And we do see from Jungle Scout's estimates here that they were doing about $16,000 per month in revenue, which is obviously great. So that would be, one that we would definitely take a look at, holiday centric. The beauty of drop shipping is that seasonality is not quite as important, right? Because it's very easy to shift your product offerings since there's no inventory overhead. You don't actually have to buy, 500 Thanksgiving pillows. You literally only sell a set of Thanksgiving pillows when you get a sale for more money, right? So there's really no risk. So seasonality is definitely something when you are selling via dropshipping and Shopify that is less important than if you were selling on Amazon FBA or in a brick and mortar store where you do have to order a number of them first and then kind of try to forecast and guess how many you're going to sell. So with dropshipping, the beauty is there's literally no risk. So, making seasonal stores really is it's not as big of a deal, and it is something that people are doing very successfully. So you can see that these people are taking advantage of that. They have Merry Christmas, they have Thanksgiving here, so it's definitely one that I would kind of keep on the old docket. So we see some sparkling candles here. We see a bunch of different interesting products here, to be honest. I mean, some of these are absolutely crazy from a revenue perspective. $63,000 a month. A Star Wars Death Star tree topper, right? This would be great. The brand is Hallmark, so this would be a product selling on Amazon where you'd have, very real risk of Amazon shutting down your listing for licensing infringement and things like that. And, when on Shopify, it's much more difficult for people to kind of find you since there isn't really as much visibility into the platform as Amazon has. I'm not saying that you should go out and just make like a crazy Shopify store all about Star Wars without thinking about licensing or anything like that. But selling these type of products on Shopify or shipped from AliExpress is much much less strictly looked into than if you were to do something similar on Amazon. So it's definitely something to think about. I have friends who made, thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars selling Harry Potter merchandise and then basically stopping just because they couldn't get the licenses that they were, going after. And so it's kind of risk versus reward when you are thinking about these type of things. So and that's just one, literally just one home decor, right? I mean, we can jump in. What I like to do sometimes is this is the first 20. I like to look at the last 20. So now if we run Jungle Scout here, we're still on the Amazon hot sellers in the home decor section. And I just chose this at random, guys. This is, I'm doing this live for you to try to simulate as real as it can possibly be. I always thought it was annoying when people kind of planned ahead for this type of stuff and showed you kind of fake results. So we're literally doing this live because I want to try to simulate as close as possible to what we might actually see here. So we see a bunch of alarm clocks here. We see a cat lamp. This could be a good one, right? This kind of looks like Totoro. It's FBA, which isn't, just because something is FBA doesn't mean you absolutely shouldn't sell it. People are, buying products from all different types of mediums, whether it's, through Instagram or via Pinterest or via Facebook, their Facebook feeds, getting ads, or whatever the case may be. So salt lamps, obviously, this is a perennial kind of classic. Advent calendars is a great one. Doing $10,000 a month at the very beginning of November with 0 reviews, and it's FBM, right? So this is definitely one that I would take a closer look at. Maybe making like an Advent calendar store specifically for Christmas, and then just not really focusing on it again until the next area of Christmas once you have a lot more data, right? And then focusing maybe on something, creating a new store that would be more kind of perennially in demand rather than more seasonal. So Christmas gifts, Christmas kind of ornament things, right? A lot of great stuff here. It's crazy how fast you can kind of find it. And then we can look at, bestsellers. Right now we're on hot new releases, so we can see the top 100 for bestsellers. We can see the most wished for. We can see gift ideas, right? Gifts are an amazing way to kind of, create less price sensitivity for your customers, because if people are buying them as gifts or whatever the products are as gifts, then they're much more likely to spend more and be a little bit less kind of price sensitive to whether or not the sale is actually made. So gift ideas is always something that I look very closely at. Again, there's kind of a lot of reviews here, but we do see, always remember you're braver. A couple ornaments here. I like to jump into some of the later ones though, just because you can kind of find some gems at the back because people aren't looking at it as often as they're looking at the kind of first pages. So we see $600,000 a month here. It's pretty crazy. I wouldn't mind $600,000 a month. So we're gonna organize by revenue, and we see some here like under 100 reviews. A diffuser, right? We see 18 reviews here. Baby diaper caddy organizer, right? This might be a good one. It is fulfilled by Amazon, which means that it does have Prime shipping available, but again, that's not necessarily an instant kill. And we could extract, a bunch of pages here and do kind of the same thing that we were just doing. Jungle Scout is cool too because you can kind of see associated keywords. It gives you a word cloud, like what the most kind of popular keywords are for these specific searches. You can also see Google Trends. So let's say that we found one here that has $22,000 with 18 reviews. So we could run Jungle Scout here, and we could actually, the keyword trends will only applies to search terms to view. Okay, so we could go baby diaper caddy, baby diaper caddy, and then we could run Google Trends here, and it would kind of save us some time so we don't have to like have all these different tools open. Let's try diaper caddy. All right, so we see a lot of sustained demand here, up in the 90s for parts of the year. It looks like it peaks up until the hundreds, at certain times of the year. Obviously, there's a lot of interest in Canada and the USA. So it would be something that we might be interested in, right? We see medium demand here with low competition. And if you guys want, I will include the link for Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout is an incredible tool, whether or not you're selling on Amazon itself or you're selling via Shopify in e-commerce, Amazon is the biggest store and database of product data anywhere in the world. And so regardless of whether or not you're selling on Amazon specifically, you can still get a ton of information of how to create your store, right? It takes the kind of guesswork out of it for you. We know that $22,000 of revenue per month for this baby diaper caddy organizer, right? And we only 18 reviews here. So, it's definitely something that we would want to kind of keep in mind when we're doing product research, regardless of whether or not it is for Amazon or for Shopify and dropshipping. So those are some of the cool ways that I like to kind of do product research here. I want to go into just one more thing that can be kind of interesting to look at. So if we go into home and kitchen, and let's go into best sellers here. Movers and shakers is also something I want to talk about really quickly. Movers and shakers kind of gives you a little glance into how Amazon organizes its products, right? So if you ever wonder to yourself, when I type in, aquarium, how does Amazon decide what appears first, right? So there's PPC and there's paid ads and there's all that, but really in the most basic sense, how Amazon organizes what products appear first for what search terms is based on sales velocity, right? So we can see here that the sales rank of this used to be 2 million, now it's 393. This means that it's the 393rd product out of all of the different products in home and kitchen from a sales rank perspective. So it's selling better than millions of products. Only 392 other products are selling better than this product, right, from a sales velocity perspective. So it's really shot up. And so I like to look at movers and shakers to kind of see what is becoming popular now and really try to understand kind of what that is, right? So Chills Ice Ball Maker Mold, right? So these actually create like specific shaped ice cubes, which would be a great novelty item for an e-commerce store. You could have skull shapes, you could have Death Star shapes, you could have sexual shapes, or any type of novelty gift items that really would pique the interest of people. And you can really prove that by searching those products on Amazon and seeing what is actually selling, right? So the movers and shakers is very useful. But what I wanted to actually show here is, let's take a look at a seller. I don't know if this one will necessarily work, but again, similar to when we're doing kind of product research on AliExpress, we can come in and we can click their seller profile. And similar to how we were doing before organizing by best sellers, we can actually take a look at Jungle Scout, the Chrome extension here, and these are all of the products sold by the same seller. And so we can get some other ideas. Even if we came to this product because we saw only one of their products on the bestseller list, now all of a sudden we have all of these different products to take a look at. And so if we organize by revenue here, we can see, they sell a grill mat they're doing $30,000 a month here, but also what is this? So they're selling a pet seat cover, right? And these are totally unrelated products, which isn't what we would want to necessarily do in Shopify, because we do want to find our specific sub niche, right? But we could maybe find a product that we would never have otherwise even known about. That they're selling retractable dog leashes. They're selling all types of different things here. And so usually when I find cool products or products that pique my interest or have very nice numbers or something like that, I'll just come into their store, click their actual seller profile name here. And then you can just run Jungle Scout and you can see all different types of products that this specific seller is selling. And then you can see a bunch of different kind of metrics, right? So we see this seller is doing an insane amount of revenue from a shower curtain perspective, but we also see some outliers here, right? We see 37 reviews with $76,000 in revenue, right? And they're doing that from a shower curtain. So shower curtains are generic, right? These are very generic shower curtains. These people might be buying this for apartment complexes or things like that. But shower curtains can become very sub-niched, right? So I think a lot of you guys are probably getting this now and kind of understanding how you kind of create and carve out your portion of any specific product niche, right? So we can make shower curtains with anything on them. It could be, beautiful beach scenes, or it could be, popular scenes from movies. It could be full of memes. It could be, any popular show of the time, anything that you want, right? You can print onto these shower curtains and your manufacturers can do it for you, and they can literally, just create whatever you want only after you have the sale. So it's a really beautiful business model. And, these people who are all selling FBA, have the disadvantage that you will not have, because they have to actually purchase all of these products in bulk, right? So they're probably buying, 10,000 shower curtains, shipping them from China in a huge container, taking all that upfront risk, and then, it is obviously paying off for them. But if they weren't able to sell it, then it would be, a huge waste. And so the beauty of dropshipping, I promise I'll try to stop saying this, but it really is just a magical business model. The beauty of dropshipping is there's no upfront risk or upfront capital to actually get into the business. And so the last thing I want to talk about from an Amazon perspective is what is restricted to sell on Amazon. So Amazon does not allow people to sell certain things, right? They don't allow you to sell alcohol. They don't allow you to sell, drugs and drug paraphernalia, right? There's a lot of, e-commerce stores out there that sell like little pipes and things like that. Amazon does not allow you to sell that. I have friends who just did such amazing things with a, e-cigarette perspective. I have a friend who basically started a course on how to quit cigarettes because he was addicted to cigarettes, and he started a digital course on how to quit cigarettes, and then he basically had an upsell at the end of his course where he sold people e-cigarette products to help wean them off of nicotine and then eventually stop smoking altogether. And so that type of creativity is really how people differentiate themselves from an e-commerce perspective, trying to build these large businesses and infrastructures up from nothing, all just handling the logistics, right? It's a beautiful thing not having any type of overhead, or the necessity of rent or any type of, expenses to rent out space in an office building or anything, right? We're building a fully sustainable business only from our laptops. That's the true beauty, right? And so you can come in here and you can take a look at all of these. All I did to find this, by the way, is I just searched Amazon restricted products. And so we're looking at restricted products, tobacco and tobacco products, and this gives us a lot of ideas, right? So we can search ashtrays. Maybe we come up with custom ashtrays, cigar cutters, cigarette papers, hookahs, humidors, right? All of these, I can guarantee you guys, all of these exist as e-commerce stores. And figuring out what your sub-niche of these niches are is really going to, make you a ton of money. And Amazon has a lot of different restricted product categories. You just have to kind of do the work to figure out which categories are restricted on Amazon, which products are restricted on Amazon, because it cuts out a lot of your competition immediately. And then you have to figure out, okay, am I allowed to actually advertise this on Facebook? Because Facebook does not allow you to advertise specific products on Facebook. Obviously, it would be offensive if there was just like a huge dildo popping up on everyone's Facebook feed. And so, it has a lot of logic to do with it. But again, just Google search Facebook ad restrictions, or like what products can I not advertise on Facebook? Read through it, find the gaps, guys. I can't do it for you for this specific one, but trust me when I tell you that some of my most successful e-commerce businesses are products that are restricted on Amazon. So, most of my competition is immediately gone, and products that I am allowed to advertise on Facebook. If you can find those niches, you are going to have a great time, guys. So I hope that helped. That's kind of a light speed summary of how to how to do product research on Amazon. Obviously, there are, so many more ways. Amazon is an unbelievably vast company, but that's kind of the, light speed summary of how to do product research for dropshipping and Shopify on Amazon, right? We talked about how to kind of look at which products are restricted on Amazon and how to leverage their restriction into building an e-commerce business outside of Amazon, right, with less competition and more profit. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you on the next one.